Hello. Yeah, I think Lurkbait is having an issue with their servers because they're like it keeps connecting and then disconnecting, and I tried like going into the settings and logging it out manually and then logging back in, and that didn't help anything. I logged out, logged back in, I turned it off, turned it on again. So they might be they might just be having some issues. So no fishing today, unfortunately. But hello. Hello, Leaflets, and welcome to another exciting episode of Mythos Mondays. It's more Fate's Day night. I can't believe it's fucking Monday again. I'm expecting today to be a relatively short episode, especially considering that the last chapter was so long that it took us 2 whole sessions. It took us 2 Mondays to get through that last chapter. So it'll probably be a bit of a shorter kind of denouement today as we move into whatever the next mini arc is going to be. Whichever, if I remember right, is going to be Caster. Which means we get to see more of Assassin again. So that'll be cool. Yeah, because of the servants that were summoned, Rider, Archer, and now Berserker have been defeated. I'm interested to see how we deal with the aftermath of losing Archer, and with how we deal with Elia, because she's not dead. Was what Shiro and Saber did last time count as segs? That's a very good question. I don't have a straightforward answer. 'Cause, like, on the one hand, yeah, in the original version of the game, that was an H scene. But also, there's a lot of weird metaphysical shit going on that, like, could could is it somehow more intimate just by being like their souls connected? It was very difficult to. There's a lot of imagery. It's unclear, to say the least. I'm just gonna go with yes. My takeaway is being intimate with a woman makes you a less powerful wizard permanently. Well, we already knew that, right? Like, the only way to become a wizard IRL is to make it to 30 while still being a virgin. We know that. That's been known. That's how you do it. And that's why I use melee weapons. Hey. I got very loud. What do you mean you got very loud? Rules are rules, Shiro. You weren't much of a mage to begin with, and now you'll never be one. It's fucking over for you. Man, I still have all my V cards out on my desk because I don't have a good bulk storage. I gotta go back to that card shop, that local place. I haven't been there in a while, actually. I think they do a lot more, like, they have a lot more. They used to be very into, like, they used to carry a lot of, like, card stuff, but now they have a lot more, like, Gunpla and D&D and a little bit of Warhammer too. It's like a small local shop, so they don't have a whole lot of, like, space. There is another shop that a friend took me to that's a few towns over that's like they have like tables set up for playing Warhammer, but yeah, the local place is like they got some Warhammer, they got like a lot of Gunpla, they got some D&D stuff, and they do still sell cards and they sell card accessories, but like it's definitely they definitely leaned more into the like into the what do we call it? Tabletop, like minifig, like figure building. What do we call it? Minis? I think it's just minis, right? Like painting minis and building Gunpla and all that stuff. At least it's not Funko. True. At least it's not like fucking what's that chain? FYE for your entertainment. Do those even exist anymore? Like, but they have just walls of Funko figures, and it's the worst. Hate those. Some Funkos are okay. Some Funko Pop, I think distinctly Funko Pops of characters that are not like traditional humanoid look better. But Funko Pops of just, like, man standing emoji characters, not good. They're not good. Don't like them. They do not... Nah. That ain't it. It's just not... It's something just ain't right. I really can't put my finger on it, but they're just weird. But, like, there's a Funko Pop for, like, the Kingdom Hearts Heartless, the Shadow Heartless. That's perfect. That's basically what a Shadow Heartless looks like in-game. So, it just works out. Box 2 was lucky. Oh, damn. I'm afraid to find out what did you post them already? Or are you still working on it? I kind of want to see. Box 2. Damn! Bro, what the fuck? You got so many 10s, dude! Holy shit! That was 2 boxes? What the fuck? Everybody's luckier than me. Dude. What the shit? Bro's got like 18 10 pulls. And 2 of them are ones that I have. The rest of them are ones that I don't have. Man. Gold had 4 10s. Man, oh. Son of a bitch. Dude, I'm upset. I'm upset. I'm upset that I couldn't buy... I'm upset that I couldn't buy the fucking case of like 12 boxes of V-Card. I want them. I did post on Twitter though that I officially completed the Lena Lazar collection. I have every single Lena card, including the box topper, not including the God Rare, but I have every single Lena card, including the box topper, in every edition. I have the mascot card, the 8, the 9, and the 10, and I have the mascot card 8, 8, and 9 in holo. The 10s are only holos, so there's no non-holo 10 cards. I would have too, but like that price that price tag's a little hard to justify. Man, I was not particularly liquid at the point that the first editions were on sale. I was a little in between a couple of bills there. Not gonna lie, I don't really like talking about finances in general. I feel like it's like dinner table rules. You don't talk about money or politics or religion or any of that stuff because it just gets you in trouble, gets you in hot water. I don't like talking about that stuff in general. I feel like it's impolite, but at the time that it released was not super convenient for me. It's fine. I hope that they have another release. Maybe not too soon, but like soon. And I hope that the new release has old cards in it, because I would like the opportunity to pull a bunch of the 10s that I did not pull. I know people that only talk about those topics. Yeah. We don't, yeah. It's miserable. Yeah, that's probably the way that I would put that. I can smell my family cooking downstairs. And I didn't want to eat. I don't like to eat before reading streams because in case I get like a little burpee or whatever, because it happens sometimes. But man, it fucking makes me hungry the whole time. Somebody's making burgers and they have seasoned the shit out of those burgers. I can smell it, dude. My mouth is watering. The wolf is hungry. The wolf also needs to play more Monster Hunter. I just gotta bite the bullet and play it offline. I want, like... You gonna share? No! You gonna share? Fucking... Of course not, dude. That shit's mine. I gotta play more Monster Hunter offline. And we gotta do more. We gotta finish the Cali build so that I can work on that video. I got projects. I got projects. I gotta finish the Cali build and hopefully be able to get the video done, like, before the end of the month, which is gonna be kind of a time crunch. Because I want to start Dark Souls 2. I want to start Dark Souls 2 on April 1st. Because that would be the 10th anniversary of the Scholar of the First Sin release. So I want to do that. So yeah. But then there's also other stuff that's coming out, like Split Fiction released on this past Thursday, I think. I want to play that. But that's a co-op game. Probably gonna do that with Tobias. Probably. I don't know when we want to start that. I gotta figure out that schedule. I'm working on a schedule for this week. Maybe we do that this Friday. I'm not sure, because I had other stuff that I wanted to do, but I'm not sure that, like, those plans might have fallen through at this point. It's probably not going to work out. But then also, It Takes Two better than Split Fiction, but both are still fun. Well, I wanted to play Split Fiction specifically because it was a story that was half sci-fi and half fantasy. But I have heard that It Takes Two is really good and definitely worth playing. What was I saying? Yeah, this Wednesday, that Bleach game comes out. That anime fighter that actually looks kind of genuinely good. Maybe not like. It's definitely not going to get as hype as the Dragon Ball Sparking Zero got, but Bleach Rebirth of Souls. I feel like we could have workshopped that name, but like, I don't know. The animations, the art style looks pretty good, and I've watched most of Bleach, so I'm kind of into it. It is anime arena fighter though. But I want to check it out. I want to play it. Wait, I thought... Okay, it looks like the release date got pushed back from when I originally thought that it was. So it doesn't come out this week. So I'm definitely going to have to keep working on the schedule. Anyway... I'm going to main Dark Rukia from that one really bad movie. I don't know if they got that one. I haven't watched any of the Bleach movies, and I skipped all of the filler, and it made for a much better experience. I highly recommend, if you decide to watch Bleach, skip the fuck out of the filler, because it doesn't matter, and it takes way too long. Like, I skipped all of the filler, and obviously it was never referenced, because it's filler. So, like, it's fine. Just don't watch it. Or read the manga, because, then you don't have any filler. How could they not include a fan-favorite character, Dark Rukia? I don't know, man. Maybe in the DLC. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so apparently that comes out on the 20th, and not the 12th, like I thought. So, I made sure to pay more attention during the filler so my mind would melt faster. It worked. Yup. Yeah, Bleach has a shitload of filler. Naruto has a shitload of filler. Naruto's easy though, because Naruto, it's like every other arc in Shippuden is filler. So then it's like, okay, you concluded another big arc, skip the next one. Basically, is how that goes until the war arc. I didn't watch the war arc because at that point I was reading the manga. So I don't know how much filler is in the war arc in general. The war arc, way too fucking long. Way too fucking long. The war arc was way too long. And I appreciate it for the world building, because you got to see a lot of characters from the past. But man, it sucked. Crossing that desert made the 1,000-Year Blood War feel like the greatest show I've ever seen, though. Damn. I don't believe it would be worth it. I don't believe it. I'm not caught up on 1,000-Year Blood War. I have like the 1.5 seasons to catch up on or something, or like half a season. I forget exactly where I left off. I caught up on the first season with Ichigo like reforging his sword, his Zanbakuto. I don't remember exactly where I left off. I don't remember exactly where I left off. It's probably like 2 or 3 episodes into the next season after that. But yeah, anyway, that was on the schedule until I realized just now it says coming March 20th. So I guess that'll be next week. So I was hoping to play it on Wednesday. So maybe on Wednesday we'll do Split Fiction if Tobias is available, or we'll do either Elden Ring or Monster Hunter. Current Zaraki versus original Zaraki was the hypest thing I've ever seen. What? Is that a thing? Is that a thing that happens? Right, yeah, because Zaraki's the title. Yeah, no, okay, yeah, right. I remember. I saw that. Yeah, that was pretty sick. Yes, you say Zaraki, and I think Kenpachi Zaraki. And I'm like, wait a minute. I'm no shade on Patrick States, obviously, because I like it. Is it Patrick States or Travis Willingham? I always get them confused because sometimes Patrick States is a very, very iconic voice, but sometimes Travis Willingham can get pretty close to what he does. Who voices Kenpachi in the new show? Cause I don't remember if it's Patrick States or Travis Willingham. I let me look it up because I don't want to misspeak. It is Patrick States, okay. Yeah, Patrick States does a good job of voicing Kenpachi Zaraki, but I got so used to David Lodge. They changed the voice actor halfway through the original Bleach series. According to the Bleach wiki, it's episode 243 had David Lodge, who is the voice actor for Jiraiya from Naruto. And I got so used to that voice that when it switched to Patrick States, I love Patrick States. I love his work specifically as like Hector in Fire Emblem Heroes. He's great. I love him because I love Hector. Hector's my fucking dude. But man, I really like David Lodge as Zaraki, and I'm sad that he didn't come back. It doesn't have that, it doesn't have that gravel. There's something that David Lodge did in that performance that Patrick States is just like, man, it's just not quite the same, right? And it just makes me a little sad. And I'm glad that they got like all of the original voice actors for 1,000-Year Blood War, but I do kind of wish they went back to David Lodge. Maybe that's just me. And again, no shade on Patrick States. I love his work. I like that, man. Voice actors are fucking cool. I just watched Josesia's Risley music video with the song that he made, apparently, that I didn't know about, that he posted like 2 days ago. Josie's just fucking cool, dude. He's a cool guy. And do I even have to bring up Sayu, the fucking the VTuber, Sayu and Amelie, as a matter of fact. Voice actors are fucking awesome. That's my Claude. Fear the deer, never forget. Oh man. Second best house in 3 houses. Well, third best house in 3 houses after the DLC. In my humble opinion. In my humble opinion. I look at me and tell me that I don't like the Ashen Wolves. Tell me that I can't like the Ashen Wolf house. I know they've only got 4 fucking members, but like, come on, bro. I always love when a VA falls in love with their role, right? And Joe loves every role that he does. He hyped the fuck out of Claude. He's hyping the fuck out of Risley. Like, I'm sure if Marvel wasn't an absolute behemoth, he would take absolute charge of Bruce Banner and the Incredible Hulk, because he voices them in Marvel Rivals, by the way, if you didn't know. It's a little hard to tell because Hulk has some voice modulation because he's the Hulk, so he's got to talk like this all the time. But that's still Josesia, yeah. Anyway, that's a whole lot of yapping about shit that has nothing to do with what we're doing today. Actually, anime VAs kind of is tangentially related to Fate Stay Night. They got Bryce Papenbrook to voice Shiro in the Ufotable animations, and I didn't like it because I didn't like his performance as Kirito in Sword Art Online. Mostly because I didn't like Sword Art Online. I liked it when it first came out, and then I tried to rewatch it kind of recently, and I looked at it and I was like, wow, this shit is ass. How did I ever like this? I don't like Sword Art Online. But I don't like Sword Art Online so much that it gave me a vendetta against Bryce Papenbrook. But he does a fine job. I prefer him as Shiro to Kirito, obviously. Not that I even like Shiro that much, but you know. And the voice actress for Rin, I forget her name. She also does Tiki in Fire Emblem Heroes. But I like her a lot, too. I like her a lot. But that's also might partially just be because I like Rin a lot. Anyway, speaking of Rin, it's time to game. It's time to read. Hold on, my I still have a bunch of stuff up on my vertical capture. We're not multi-streaming today, but I still have a bunch of stuff up on my vertical capture that is going to bother me while I'm looking at it. That's the wrong one. Hold on. I have to just turn off the visuals. Okay, that's going to distract the hell out of me. Here we are. Oh, let me... I'm gonna mute sound alerts and stuff. There you go. Pinned message. Don't spend your points or your bits on sound alerts because they're mooted. They're mooted. Actually, is it better? No, because if I do that now, I'm gonna forget to turn it back on. I think if I disable, if I turn off the sound alert, browser, like the browser capture, the source. That's the term. If I turn off the source, then it will actually just disable the widget altogether. That way you can't spend bits and then not hear it. I think if I just mute the source, then you can technically still spend money on it. But if I let me do it that way. It'll be better. Hopefully I won't forget to turn it back on. MB way. February 12th. Interval Level 4. These chapter names seem to have no relation to anything. Maybe that's just me. The sky was still pale gray. Was it dawn or dusk? It's hard to tell. The vast sky overhead and a wide field stretching out on all sides. The sky seemed close enough to touch. Clouds, low enough to grab hold of. This was one of the battlefields she fought on. But there was no longer any cavalry in her service. The sprawling golden meadow was gone. Instead, unfolding under the dull sky, was the remnant of a battlefield. Bro, this is the visual I've low-key been waiting for from this route. The Battle of Camlin. The Hill of Corpses. No emotion. She must have seen this kind of thing almost daily. Her desolate heart was empty. As she leaned against the golden sword, she exhaled deeply and let her shoulders relax. The battle must have ended. After glancing over the bodies of the defeated soldiers, she returned to her camp. Those were the battles she experienced. Her cold, calm demeanor remained unchanged. No matter the predicament she's been in, she remains just like the woman I've always known. And then I see the dream of a king. The moment she drew the sword, she stopped being human. She took over for her father as a feudal lord and became a king with many knights. She was known as King Arthur and Artoria. The life of the girl who once aspired to be a knight changed so radically. She acted like she was the king's son. The ruler of territories and knights had to be male. Only her father and the mage knew the king was female. She covered herself in iron and hid that truth for the rest of her life. There were those who had their suspicions. But the King of Knights who wielded the sacred sword knew neither injury nor age. Excalibur was blessed with the protection of the fairies, making its possessor immortal. As such, nobody questioned her tiny frame, which was much too small for a knight, or her face, which may have appeared girlish. Instead, she was hailed as a truly beautiful king. And in fact, the king was invincible. Neither size nor appearance mattered. Those who lived in fear of the savage invaders desired a strong king, and the valiant knights would follow only a truly superior leader. The king satisfied each of these conditions. And so, nobody questioned the king's identity. It did not matter if the king was a child or a woman. All that mattered was that the king protected the nation. The new king was fair and selfless, and always stood on the front line, fighting and defeating the nation's enemies on the battlefield. Many enemies and citizens died, but the king was always just, and she played her role as king better than anyone else. There was no room to suspect otherwise, and any such suspicions would be pointless while the king was right in any case. She knew no defeat on the battlefield. Her army reformed the lost cavalry, then charged across the battlefield, defeating foreign infantry and smashing through their defenses. Did she always stand on the front lines because her nation was behind her? Before she headed out to battle, she had to cast aside so many citizens. Once she was on the battlefield, she had to cut down all her enemies. As her battles were fought in defense of her nation, it was common to wring villages dry to support the army. In that sense, no knight killed as many as she did. I can't tell if she ever really felt that burden. It's not something I can really know from a dream. But I do know she didn't have a moment's doubt or hesitation on the battlefield. Grief never touched her thoughts when she sat on the throne. A king is not human. Human emotions would make it impossible to protect people. She kept to her oath, never wavering. She addressed the issues facing her nation, and she worked on matters of political concern. She ruled without wavering, and she punished the deserving without error. And after winning so many battles, unifying so many clans, and punishing hundreds of criminals, King Arthur doesn't have a human heart. One of the knights in her entourage murmured this. Everyone must have felt the same way. The more perfectly she carried herself as a king, the more everyone questioned their monarch. There's no way someone devoid of human emotion can rule humans. Several reputable knights left the White Castle of Camelot, but the king accepted this as inevitable and incorporated it into her rule. And so the fair king, once so admired by her knights, began to isolate herself. Such trivialities were of no concern to the king. Even if she was deserted, feared, or betrayed, her heart would remain unchanged. It couldn't be helped. The moment she took that sword, she abandoned her emotions. And then her final battle began. The battle at Badon Hill ended in a complete victory, and that inescapable conclusion led to the savage clans finally offering peace. And so the nation that had been holding its breath, waiting to be destroyed, knew a moment of peace. The age of warfare, where a nation leaned on a singular hero, came to an end. Britain was finally going to become the nation she'd always dreamed of. The scene starts to fade away. I realize the dream is ending, and I'm about to wake up. I can feel myself drifting closer to wakefulness. But before that happens, something really pissed me off. She's stupid. I just wanted to let that line hang in the air for a second. She's stupid, and that pissed me off. Oh, she's strong, and a gifted fighter. But there's a difference between being good at fighting and being cut out for it. The people around her pissed me off too. If she didn't notice it, someone else around her should have told her, or she would go on making the same mistake forever. Seriously, how the hell did she have so many people around her and not one told her the truth? I wake up. We escaped Elia's forest and returned home yesterday afternoon. Tosaka went back to her room, complaining her stomach hurt, and my headache wasn't getting any better, so we all just decided to go to sleep. It must have been the extra weight I was lugging around. As soon as I got into bed, I couldn't get back up. Saber was the only one who seemed fine, and Tosaka and I left her to guard the house while we slept. And then... so I slept for half a day. At least my headache's gone. I'm relieved. The whole thing with Berserker. The headache I got after copying Saber's sword was unreal. If it had kept up, my head might well have just split down the middle. Then I notice Saber is sitting on the floor, right next to my head. Saber? Why are you glaring at me like that first thing in the morning? Did something happen while I was asleep? No, I simply had a dream. No, it's nothing. Let us have breakfast. It is time to wake up. Saber gets up and heads silently out of my room. What was that about? I don't know why Saber's acting strange. I'm really not sure, but if she was sitting by my bedside the whole time, was she nursing me back to health? Fluh. The moment I have that thought, the scene from last night comes back to me. What the hell am I thinking? I shake my head to rid myself of those impure thoughts. That night, my contact with Saber was entirely about my duty as a master. If I don't rationalize it like that, I'll never be able to look at Saber again. Calm thoughts. We acted normal when we were coming home yesterday. That's all I need to do. No, I was actually just tired yesterday, but I still need to act normal. Besides, Saber wouldn't like me acting like this. Okay, I just need to calm down and make breakfast. I take a deep breath and get changed. It's 9 in the morning. Saber hasn't eaten since lunch yesterday, so she must be hungry. 9 is so late, it's practically not even morning anymore. Oh yeah? Just, don't ask me about my sleep schedule. Never ask. What's that meme? Never ask a woman her weight, a man his salary, or a VTuber their sleep schedule. As hungry as Saber must be, I should probably make a hearty breakfast. Shiro, is it just you and I this morning? Do we not need to wake Rin up? No, everyone's still asleep. Considering what happened yesterday, it's probably best to let them sleep. I'll leave their food out and they can eat whenever they like. I see. Then I would appreciate it if you prepared the meal quickly. It is much later than usual. Here's the answer, non-existent. Real. They sleep, just not on a schedule. Fucking me. I know. I feel better now, so let's head to the dojo when we finish eating. The dojo? Do you intend to continue your training with me? Why not? It's our daily routine. What's wrong, Saber? Did I say something weird? Oh, no. I just assumed we would no longer be training. With Berserker defeated, I thought there would be no further reason for you to continue training as we had been. I see. You know, you may be right. The common enemy we all share in Berserker is now gone. We teamed up to take on an enemy far stronger than us, and that's also why I trained so furiously in such a short period of time. But I'd like to keep training. I'm still an untrained mage, and I get to see the real you when you wield the sword. That makes it easier for me to talk to you too. Well, I say easy, but what I mean is I kind of enjoy it. So I reveal my true self when I am in the dojo. You sure do. At least you don't hold back. I prefer it that way. Besides, I think you get to loosen up as well. Anyway, our routine has been us sparring in the mornings. Don't take the few pleasures I have. Kage! Hello, hello, welcome in, thank you for the raid. Welcome in, Raiders. My name is Conla Redleaf, aka Conla the Kingslayer, the Wandering Wolf Boy Warrior. Awoo! That's a pretty good one. I've been kind of slacking on my awoos lately. Today is Mythos Monday, so we are reading more Fate Stay Night. We're kind of just getting started here. It's the day after we defeated Berserker. Minor spoilers, so it's bound to be a less exciting episode than it was the last 2 times. And Kage, thank you so much for the resub at 11 months. Man, have we really known each other that long? Man. Time flies. But also, like, it feels like forever. The internet's weird. I feel like people talk about this all the time, but time on the internet is fucking strange because it can feel like 100 years, but also like 5 minutes at the same time. And that's how I feel. Like how have we known each other for this long, but also it feels like we're still just like new friends. The internet is so strange. But Raiders, if you got a raid and run, I don't mind. Please do take care of yourself. You gotta grab a bite to eat, take a shower, take a nap, do whatever. I was just talking about how I could smell my family cooking downstairs, and now we're having breakfast in the VN. I'm so hungry. So I don't blame you if you gotta go grab a bite to eat. But yeah, if you're sticking around, I hope you enjoy. We're going to be continuing the comfy times. Definitely need to eat, but we'll be lurking as always. I appreciate you, Kage. Oh, let me give you a shout out. I don't think I have any mods in here right now. Maybe Yoon stepped away. He was here earlier, but hold, please hold. It's fine. It's not fine. Now it's fine. There you go. It's important. I gotta check out. I saw on Twitter the other day there was somebody posted like their stream deck that had a bunch of streamers, like a bunch of other VTubers like in the buttons. So I gotta figure out. I think they set it up so that they could that it'll like light up when they're online, and then if she pushes the button, it'll raid into them. I gotta see if I can do that for like shoutouts and stuff, because that would be super cool. Because we do get whenever we get raided, it's usually a regular. It's usually like Kage or Cabby or somebody. See how Talk does those auto shoutouts? Ooh, yeah. Yeah, that should be relatively easy to set up. I think. I don't know. Yeah. the things to look into. Lots of things to look at. Matter of fact, hold on. Let me take a moment and write this stuff down, because I have been... There's another thing that I want to do for, like, quality of life, for... Not for any, like, you guys won't notice a change, but it'll be like a quality of life thing for me. Let me do that. When I talk in his chat, it just does one, and I want... That's crazy. Well, it's got to be a similar like code to how the little wolf guy does on your stream whenever somebody comes in. It's got to be that, but with a whitelist, so it only does certain people and not everybody. That can't be too terribly difficult to set up. I don't know how I would do it specifically, but I have a concept of it. Let me write these things down. Auto shoutouts. Something to look into. Stream deck raid buttons. I'll probably know what that means when I read it back later. And then, mouse button toggles. Mouse button toggles, because I have an MMO mouse. I bought it when I first started playing Final Fantasy XIV, and then I stopped playing Final Fantasy XIV. But I use the buttons on my mouse for, like, browsing and stuff. Like, I have them set up for, like, common things, like a back button, a forward button, a play button for, like, Spotify and stuff. But I want to set up a profile on the mouse to swap some of my toggles, because right now I have them on my Stream Deck, but I've also got, like, position buttons. Sorry, jump scare, on my Stream Deck. But they're, like, in folders and stuff, so I can't... Like, if I wanted to swap... Like, whenever I do a transition, when I transition from one screen to another, I'll here's what I do. If I'm on my main screen, okay, I'm gonna start transitioning now. I push the toggle folder, I push N bar, I go back out of the toggle button folder, I go to the positions folder, and then I move my position. And it's like, yeah, my transition's long enough for me to do that, but that's like 5 button presses, and it could just be 1. And I'm just too lazy to set it up so that it is 1, so I just gotta do that. Keyboard has extra buttons at the top, so I could probably do with that. Ooh, yeah. That'd be awesome. There's also, I've heard people would buy, like, a separate... They'd buy, like, a numpad. That, like, people sell specifically just a numpad for keyboards, and then you can set that up separately. Like, you can plug it in through a USB. Even if your existing keyboard has a numpad anyway, it'll just be extra buttons for you. You manually move yourself? Oh my god. I remember I'd have... When I first started, I just had I cropped VTube Studio into the little corner that I'm in before realizing, wait a minute, it's way better, and you don't, like, cut your model off if you move too dramatically, if you just move in VTube Studio and have everything. And then you can set it up as a toggle so that you move to that exact position every time. Anyway, there's a lot of behind-the-scenes talk on that. For anybody who wants to try VTubing, here's a couple of tips. Write this stuff down. Unironically, I highly recommend writing down when VTubers talk about VTubing, which happens a lot in collab streams. Anytime Cinder collabs with anybody, I whip out my fucking notebook, because they inevitably talk about stuff that I want to know as a VTuber. Kind of derail. No. It's fine. I don't know. I'm in a yappy mood today, I guess. Besides, this is a very casual episode. I'm expecting this to be a short chapter, so it's a very casual episode today. We got ads coming up in like 3 minutes anyway, so we'll try to get to a good stopping point. I take the ground beef and pork, green onions, mushrooms, onions, and eggs out of the refrigerator and head to the kitchen. All I need is panko, sake, and cooking oil. Well then, I have no objections. Saber mumbles quietly to herself in the living room while I work. I can't quite hear what she's saying from the kitchen. Smack, smack, pound, pound. Oh yeah? In the kitchen even? Ooh. Anyway. I mix onions, panko, sake, egg, salt with 400 grams of ground beef and pork and knead it all together. I've decided to be bold today, so I'm making stewed Japanese-style Hamburg steak for breakfast. Onions, panko, which is breadcrumbs, sort of. It's sort of equivalent to breadcrumbs. Sake, egg, salt, and ground beef and pork. Yeah, that sounds really good. That's almost how you would, like, make meatballs, I guess. You just need a lot of eggs. Yeah, just different spices for like Italian meatballs, and then there you go. You'd have onion, garlic, and what do we use at home? Onion, garlic, basil, I think. I forget. I don't know. It's in there. It's muscle memory. It's DNA, ancestral memory. Rin, are you awake? Saber's voice drifts out of the living room. Tosaka? I glance back over my shoulder as I cook. Morning. Hey, I'm gonna pour myself a cup of milk, Shiro. Tosaka comes in looking grumpy and grabs a carton of milk from the fridge. This is the perfect image for us to go to ad break on. Tosaka is not a morning person, and you know what? Neither am I. Wonderful. She's perfect. I love her. Any second now we'll go to ads. Any second now. I swear, any second now, ads are gonna happen. Please? Hello? I should set up an ad button too, if I'm gonna yeah, let me write that down. I could make a little, because Kage's got something like that. There they go. Kage's got a little thing that like says, hey, we're going to ads, supports the channel, please and thank you. I should, and I say that out loud sometimes, but I should maybe like set up a bot command for that. That would probably be good. I know that most of my audience is subscribed, and so you don't necessarily have to deal with ads, but you know, it's the principle of the thing. You don't have to sub to be here, so I don't want to, if I can help it, if I can catch it and I can pause what we're doing during the ads, I would prefer to. It's easy to do on Mythos Monday because I can see it while we're just reading. Whenever I'm playing a game, it's a lot harder. Like, you can't pause Elden Ring, you can't pause Monster Hunter. Not a lot of games that we play on the channel can you actually pause the gameplay. And usually whenever we do end up in ads, it's like not a very convenient place to pause. Just because I'm unlucky, I guess. You can pause in Kingdom Hearts 2, though, and I have been thinking about going back and playing Kingdom Hearts 2 again. Maybe level 1 critical. That would be my first time doing something like that. But I have played critical mode before, and I do really like Kingdom Hearts 2. So, I don't know, I could give it a shot. I'm tempted. I don't think I would ever do a no-hit run. I don't think I'm ever confident enough to do a no-hit run. Although certain bosses in critical level 1 would definitely constitute a no-hit run. Like, if you get hit once, then you die anyway. Depends on your abilities. Because I think Second Chance and Once More are both tied to level ups. I'll have to do a little bit of research. It's kind of like a Nuzlocke doing a level 1 run. There's some research that goes into it. I also maybe want to do it in Pokemon Nuzlocke sometime, but I have to do a lot more research. I don't know, I got a lot of things that I'd like to do someday, but I have no specific plans. Welcome back from Ad Hell. We appreciate your service. Now it's time to continue the story. Slept too much. My head hurts. Hey, what's this? You're really going all out this morning, aren't you? Where'd that grumpy face you've been making a second ago go? Her eyes are practically sparkling now. Oh, that looks good. And here I was starting to get hungry. This is perfect. Is that so? Well, she's the only one who gets to enjoy herself here, not me. Reminds me of what my old man used to say. Someone gains, someone else loses. I've thought this before, but you've got a keen eye. Well, I'm just a discerning sort. Looking forward to this breakfast you're making now. She waves as she heads back to the living room. With a glass of milk in one hand, Tosaka plops down at the table. Seriously. I don't know where she gets off acting like the king of the castle here in my house. You are certainly lazy today, Rin. Yeah, way to go, Saber. Saying everything I wish I could. However, Tosaka dismisses Saber's criticism nonchalantly by just agreeing with her. Of course I'm lazy now. With Berserker gone, now we just have to deal with Caster, Lancer, and Assassin. They're nothing compared to Berserker. Should be a cakewalk for Saber. We gonna address the elephant in the room, or should I keep quiet about that? You do not know that. Defeating Lancer and Assassin may not be as straightforward as you think. And we have yet to meet Caster. Don't be so humble. No ordinary heroic spirit is any match for King Arthur. We've solved your magical energy problem. So there's no servant who can best you now. Saber narrows her eyes at Tosaka. I have the same reaction. We shouldn't let what Tosaka said there just go by. Tosaka, do you know who Saber is? I had a hunch, but yesterday confirmed my suspicions. Only one hero can wield a sacred sword like that. I'm pretty sure that's categorically untrue, but go off, I guess. I mean, I was a little surprised to learn that the legendary King Arthur was a girl, but I can't really argue against that when she's sitting right in front of me. Besides, legends are rewritten all the time, right? I don't know if Saber was the one who hid it, or if the people around her did, but I guess there was a problem with having a girl be a king in medieval times. So I don't blame them for saying she was a man. Tosaka's tone remains the same. Saber, at least, doesn't seem to mind. If anything, she seems to agree with Tosaka. She certainly doesn't seem about to argue. She's basically acknowledged the fact. A hero with a connection to the sword is selected to be the saber servant. Based on that alone, she would absolutely make for the best saber. The heroic symbol of Britain. The wielder of a sacred sword, so famous she's even known in this faraway land. But then, what of it? The legend of King Arthur ends with the king's death. Even heroes are still human. Their stories usually end in death, but no hero dies a proper death. King Arthur was no exception. If I remember correctly, King Arthur died in battle. At the Great Battle of Camlan. After unifying Britain and supposedly having no more foreign enemies to defeat, King Arthur was drawn into conflict with an unexpected enemy in the end. Back from work. Welcome in, Clay. How's it going? You just missed breakfast, so you're gonna have to fend for yourself. It was the treachery of her own army, the knights she vowed to protect and fought alongside for so long, that led to King Arthur's death. King Arthur defeated the army's leader, but took a fatal wound in the battle, and so entrusted her only surviving knight, Bedivere, with the task of returning the sacred sword to where it belonged. Travel across this bloody battlefield and over the hill. You will find a deep lake. Throw this sword into that lake. But Bedivere did not fulfill that final duty. Fearing the implications of losing the sword, Bedivere falsely reported not once, but twice, that he had thrown it into the lake. Each time, King Arthur once more ordered Bedivere to throw the sword away. Finally, on his third attempt, Bedivere was able to fulfill his king's wishes. It is said that King Arthur died after making certain the sword had been returned. So, Shiro, what do you plan to do now? Tosaka suddenly turns to glare at me. What do you mean, plan to do? I'm talking about that dangerous girl sleeping in the Japanese-style room right now. I told you to leave her alone, but you insisted on carrying her here. I also have something to say about the subject. Though she has lost her berserker, Iliasville remains a dangerous master. I question your decision to shelter her. Yep. You should just leave her with Kirei. The two glare at me as one. That's right. The moment Berserker disappeared, Ilia fainted. She showed no sign of waking up, and I couldn't just leave her, so I brought her back home. Of course, Tosaka and Saber objected, so I carried her myself. A master who loses their servant either flees before another master kills them, or is protected by the church. Tosaka says we should let Kotomine take care of her, but I don't think that priest would take very good care of Ilia, so I'm having her stay in one of our spare rooms. Shiro, your actions here are commendable, but it is dangerous to get involved with Iliasville. It is not too late. We may either send her to the church or seize her command spells. What do you mean by seize her command spells? because, like, I've seen Fate Zero, and as far as I know, there's only one way to do that. I don't like that. Saber's serious. Changing her mind won't be easy. Do you have a problem? We couldn't just leave her alone. Ilia's just a kid, and she wasn't herself. I'd feel bad leaving her with Kotomine. I just remembered I fell asleep last time. Did Heracles fall? How did Heracles fall and Archer's gone? Archer is gone. As for how Heracles was defeated, I don't want to ruin it for you if you missed it. It was pretty cool. I'll have the VOD uploaded on YouTube soon. I feel I keep forgetting to do that. Like I'll do them in a big batch, and then suddenly we'll catch up, and then I'll have to do another big batch, and I keep forgetting. I don't. It was pretty cool. I don't want to ruin it for you. All right. I mean, the VOD should still be up here on Twitch if you wanted to watch it here. If you want to watch it here instead of waiting for the YouTube upload, but I'll have it uploaded on YouTube as well. If anybody didn't know, I have a VOD channel. It's got basically everything we've ever done, basically, with a few exceptions. That way, if you're just joining us all the way here on fucking day, like, chapter 12 or whatever, you can go back to the VOD channel and catch up. You feel bad? How can you say that with a straight face after everything she did to us? I agree. You have too much empathy for Iliasville. She tried to kill you many times. There's this scary image. This is a terrifying image. Get your screenshots in chat. Oh god. Anyway. The two are more united than ever, but I need to stand my ground. Ilia was our enemy, but she never had any malice for us. As long as she has a good influence, she won't do any more harm. I beg to differ, Shiro. And I said this at the start. I'm not fighting to kill masters. I'm fighting to end the battle. I know that, but... Saber's tone softens, though she's clearly not convinced. But... Oh yeah? So you're going to forgive Iliasville for everything she's done? Let me tell you something. She's attacked other masters, and you don't know how many masters she might have killed. You're going to save her, even so? Well, yeah. Ilia admitted she killed Shinji after I let him go. Shinji used Ryder to try and kill everyone at school. If that's what he did as a master, I suppose his death was inevitable. But Shinji was a friend of mine for years. And thinking of Sakura, I can't just write off what Ilia did. That means there's no chance at closure. Even if Ilia is no longer a master, as long as she can reflect and feel remorse, I think we should save her. Okay, you might be right. But I, for one, won't ever forgive her for what she did to Archer. She killed my Archer. We're at an impasse here. We all freeze, staring at each other. But then... Oh, come on. All servants disappear in the end anyway. If you're so worried about that, you'll fail as a master, Rin. The very girl under discussion appears. Hold it. I have no business with you two. I don't have any intention of fighting, so don't get so angry at me. Honestly, I'm embarrassed for you two, just as fellow ladies. You're older than me, but you're sorely lacking in manners. Ilya, sweetheart, I don't think now is the time to get uppity. I think... Please relax. Ilya shrugs, looking disgusted. What did you say? Saber and Tosuka are once again in sync. Ba, ba, ba. A whole new kind of intensity comes over them. Nerd! Now, why would you say such a thing to me? What's up, Veda? How you doing? Take a sip of my beverage. Good. Just been Monhun. I gotta get back on that grind, bro. I'm so far behind. I didn't want to play too much offline, but like, if I'm gonna play it, it's gonna have to be offline. Oh, forget low rank. I like just barely made it to like the stone, bone, and oil folk people, and then my stream crashed because my power went out. Maybe we'll play more live this week, but I'm not sure. But I'll try and put some work in offline too, because I saw an armor set on Twitter. Gilgamesh knows, but I saw an armor set on Twitter that I really want. I gotta go get it. Anyway, we're not talking about Monster Hunter. We're not playing Monster Hunter today. Ugh. All I think about is Monster Hunter. When I'm not playing Monster Hunter, I'm thinking about Monster Hunter. God damn it. Well, I'm not going to get into that with you. I don't have time to deal with the two of you right now. Ilya, Ilya does not realize that she is in a hole, and she is brandishing that shovel with fervor. Ilya turns from then to face me. I would like to thank you, Master of Saber. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for being so concerned about me, even though I was your enemy. I stare at Ilya in disbelief. So sudden is this that even Saber goes quiet. Tosuka just keeps drinking her milk, giving Ilya the stink eye. And then, Ilya smiles that familiar smile of hers. Just kidding. Yep, you sure are, my brother. She launches herself right at me and hugs me around the neck. What's going on? Tosuka spits out her milk. I'm sorry, that image of Saber deadpan with the angry anime vein is really fucking funny. Like, oh, she's pissed. What the? I can almost hear the vein popping in Saber's forehead. Unhand him, you insolent fool! Saber rushes toward me. Ilya twists around, swinging to my back. Who's being uncivil here? A A servant like you has no right to command me. I have neither obligation nor intent to obey you. If you will speak so brazenly, then you will remove yourself from Shiro's presence this instant. I'm not listening to you. Hey, Shiro, let's do the same thing we did last night. Give me a piggyback ride, right? Aww, that's kinda cute. She just wants another piggyback ride. Elia spins around me. Oh god, oh god! Saber hurries after her, trying to catch her. This is bad. What specifically is bad? Well, it's just bad. The two can't stop glaring at each other. Must be because Tosaka is just watching from afar, but... She just wipes the milk off her mouth, as if nothing is happening, and says... Look, I don't care what you do, but if you keep that up, you're going to kill him. The two peer curiously at me. It's pretty clear. My neck is getting wrenched around, and I now face the greatest danger of my life. Right, because Elia was hanging around us. And fucking spinning, and spinning, and spinning. Okay, let's review the current situation. The Hamburg steak I'd been working so hard on is packed away in the freezer. First, there's Tosaka. She's being relatively quiet. She seems to be keeping a straight face, and it looks like she's just going to watch things play out, but who can say what she might be thinking to herself. What is it, Shiro? Elia is sitting next to me, and for some reason, she looks like she's in a good mood. She's looking curiously around the living room, but it doesn't look like Saber or Tosaka are much concerned to her. Whatever either of them might say is likely going in one ear and out the other. And then there's the one I'm most concerned about. Saber. She's glaring anxiously at both me and Elia. She's not usually so fidgety and restless. It feels like I'm resting on a bed of nails. So I can't leave things like this. I don't know what's going to come of this, but I have to do something about the situation. Let's settle this. If we keep this up, it'll drag out until lunch. You're right. We've already come to a conclusion, so we should get rid of the problem as soon as possible. Isn't that right, Saber? That is correct. Rin and I are in agreement, so we just need to convince Shiro. Saber's really digging her heels in. Huh? Hey, Shiro, what do Rin and Saber want to talk out? They want to talk about what we should do with you. You lost your servant, so we want to know what you plan to do from now on. I'm sorry, sweetheart, we're sending you to a farm upstate. There's only two obvious options. Either take her to the church for shelter, or send her back to her castle in the forest. Her staying here is out of the question. Do you feel the same way, Shiro? Elia looks at me, her face emotionless. But her eyes, gigantic. We have to take her to the church, right? We can't keep her here. That's gonna be worse for everybody. Especially Shiro. The church should shelter her. That's the safest option, if we're focusing on Elia's needs. Then it's settled. Well, this hardly needed discussing. The choice is obvious. We can't keep Eliasville here. Ilya looks up at me anxiously. I feel bad. No. You're not going to do that, right, Shiro? You're not going to abandon me, are you? Stop making me feel bad. I press a hand over my chest, feeling it tightening up. I think you should go to the church, Ilya. It's much safer there than here. I make eye contact as I tell her this. Ilya gasps, then freezes entirely. Ilyasville, given that Shiro saved you, I will not pursue you any further. Your life has been spared. You should value it. No! Stupid Shiro, stupid Shiro, stupid Shiro, Shiro, you dummy! I don't want to. I don't want to go to the church. I don't want to go anywhere else. I don't want to be alone. I want to stay here with you, Shiro. What have I done? What have I done? Oh, she's just a little girl. She doesn't wanna. Ilya cries like a small child. Well, in her defense, Ilya is a small child. 18 years old, by the way. I should have known that, of course, but I forgot at this crucial moment. I know. If I really am concerned for Ilya, I can't just entrust her to someone else. What are you saying? You have the big castle. And land like this is nothing to the Einsbergs. It's like the size of a cat's forehead. How rude. That's not true. This place is so small, it's like a mouse's toenail. Okay, you can't say something silly like mouse's toenail with a pouty face like that. So this place might be too small for Yuri, but I can manage to live with Shiro here just fine. Who does Ilya want to offend here? Don't you agree, Shiro? I can stay here, right? She looks at me like I'm some kind of lifeline. And then I remember something I heard a long time ago. My old man always said you should protect girls. Yeah, I take back what I said earlier. Sorry, Ilya. I was the one who brought you here. Until the Holy Grail War ends, until all the remaining masters are taken care of, I'm going to give you shelter here. What? What? Shiro? I knew you were as sweet as candy, Shiro. You're choking me, I can't breathe. Do not touch my master, Ilyasville. And what do sweets have to do with any of this? She means he's gone soft on her. Too sweet and soft. Why are you all getting in my way? You got some kind of problem with me? Kinda, yeah. Of course I do. I will never forgive what you did to Shiro. And you, Shiro, do you still not understand that nothing good will come of sheltering Ilyasville? You got it wrong, Saber. Ilya doesn't have a servant anymore, so she's not dangerous. She's no longer a master, so she has no reason to fight us anymore. I feel like Reed might have something to say about that, but okay. Besides, how would you feel if she got attacked after we abandoned her? Ilya's life would be in danger, and the other masters might gain power from her. Yes, that might be true, but... Saber hesitates. No matter what she says, Saber understands that another master might attack Ilya if we leave her alone. Then it's my turn to argue. I'm sorry to jump in after you've convinced Saber, but I don't agree. Look, Shiro, she's still a master. She may have lost her servant, but I also told you that as long as she has command spells, she is still a master. She says that. Tosaka just butts in while she sips her tea. What's that supposed to mean, Tosaka? I'm saying that as long as she has her command spells, she can form a contract with as many servants as she wants. There are stray servants who don't have masters, and as long as a master has the capacity to take in that stray servant, they can form contracts with as many as they want. What the heck? So if there's a capable master around, they can form contracts with as many servants as they want? Not exactly as many as they want. The Holy Grail can only call upon 7 heroic spirits, so 7 would be the maximum. Sips my drink. In fate grand order. Granted, I think that's that's like an artificial grail system or whatever, but fucking, you know, whatever. Though, no matter how capable a mage is, they couldn't have enough magical energy to power multiple servants. Even if they did, they would have to divide their own magical energy in half to supply 2 servants. That would weaken the servants, which would make forming multiple contracts difficult and pointless. I see. So if I formed a contract with Saber and Berserker, they would have to split my magical energy between them to maintain their existence, which would dramatically weaken both of them. That means it would make more sense to keep to one servant and supply them with magical energy. Now that you mention it, didn't you say servants could change masters? Is this what you meant? Oh, look at you catching on for a change. And you're right, Shiro. That's how servants changing masters goes. A servant who's lost their master has some time before disappearing. So, if in that time they can find a master who's seeking a servant and form a contract, they'll be fine. Write that down. It won't be relevant for like a long time or maybe at all, but write that down. Yes, so that's why you can't let your guard down with Rin, Shiro. She's still a master too. She might kill you and seize Saber, or she might form a new contract with another surviving servant. Yep. And I could say the exact same thing about you, Ilya. That's never going to happen. I don't intend on teaming up with another servant. My servant is and will only ever be Berserker. That's kinda cute. I don't know what kind of relationship Ilya and Berserker had, but I do know that servant was special to her. I know what kind of relationship Ilya and Berserker had. Ilya doesn't have any parents, and Berserker doesn't have any children anymore, so they kind of adopted each other, and now he's dead. And it's our fault. Anyway, that is a surprise, but at the same time, it makes me happy. I'm happy to know that despite the fact that as a master, Ilya was relentless, she still cherished her partner. Oh, but if Shiro loses, I'll take Saber. Fucking... I won't let anyone other than Shiro win. But if Shiro loses, I'll win on his behalf. It's okay, I mean, you almost got unalived. True. He did almost murder us. Like, at least twice. Ilya says that proudly, just as she was starting to impress Saber and Tosaka. That is ridiculous. I am Shiro's servant. I have no intention of becoming your servant. Well, I don't care anyway. I just want Shiro to win. Whether I win or Saber protects Shiro, it's all the same to me. What a weird thing to say. Actually, if she wants me to win, why would she think like that anyway? And then, Tosaka must have found it strange too. She starts to think. I really like this pose. This is very... I like the pose. I like the absolute territory going on over there in the corner. Something about this image really speaks to me. Very pensive. Very pretty. I don't know. I certainly mind. I will not approve no matter what. Rin, please warn Shiro yourself. I'm sorry, I wasn't listening. Tell him what, Saber? About how we are against sheltering Iliasville here. Oh, that? I guess sheltering her here wouldn't be a terrible idea. Saber freezes. I had advocated for this, and even I'm surprised. I don't blame the opposing Saber for being frozen in shock. Rin, have you lost your mind? No. If I think about this rationally, I see the risks are all the same. It doesn't matter whether we leave Ilya alone, give her shelter here, or send her off to the church. It may even work out in our favor if masters come here looking for Ilya. With Saber as she is now, she would be hard. With Saber as she is now, she would be hard for even multiple servants to defeat if they attacked together. That'd be the fastest way to end this Holy Grail war. And that's what you want too, isn't it, Saber? But if you think you'd lose to other servants, that's another story. Of course not. You understand my condition perfectly. So long as Shiro is my master, I cannot be defeated. Right? Then us sheltering Ilya isn't a problem. And there's something else. Shiro's decision might actually have been a really smart move. Tosaka goes quiet. She must have convinced Saber, who reluctantly takes a step back from Ilya. Well, I guess that's that. We finish breakfast, then move to the dojo. Tosaka goes back to her own room, while Saber follows me. As for Ilya... Hey, are you really going to do some sword training? She follows me to the dojo, like we're joined at the hip. I was looking forward to hanging out with you today, Shiro, but Saber's in the way. It's boring here, and I'm cold. She's just a little... She's just your annoying little sister, bro. Well, I'm not surprised Ilya thinks this is boring. Watching someone train isn't exactly what I would call exciting. Let's go back to the living room. If you want to get stronger, I'll help you. How would you possibly do that? Ilya takes one of my hands in both of hers and tries to tug me away from the dojo. But at least in this, I can't indulge Ilya. No, I can't, Ilya. I train every day, so I can't miss today. I'm not a proper mage, so I need to work hard to be ready to fight. Besides, if I train, I can protect you too, Ilya. I decided to shelter you here, so I should train to help me do just that. Okay, you may be right. But I don't really need you protecting me. You're my brother, so I just need you to be with me. It seems I failed to convince her. Ilya tugs more aggressively at my hand. Saber watches silently all the while. Her eyes burn into the pair of us. She must still not approve of Ilya being here, and is being more than a little cold toward her. And then our eyes meet. Good timing. I'll ask for Saber's opinion. I said I can't. Tell her, Saber. Tell her I train with you every day. Look at her little cat face. Little woo mouth. There is nothing for me to say. You are the one who has brought Iliasville here. Persuading her is your duty, not mine. It is kind of cold in here, huh? Ugh. I don't know why, but I guess she's really ticked now. Oh, you know your place well, Saber. You don't need to train. The ones left are all weak, so you don't need to bother with this. Come on, Shiro, let's take Saber. Let Saber take care of the other masters, and we can just go play outside. Whoa, hey, slow down. I lose my balance and feel myself being tugged toward the dojo's exit. Hey, no. Let go, Ilya. I'm not going to indulge you this time. I'm not skipping my sword training. I'm going to stick to it. Sure, you might think it's boring, but I enjoy it. If you're going to complain, then go wait in the living room. I shake her off violently. She obviously didn't expect me to fling her away like that. Ilya backs off, surprised, then looks at me nervously. Crap. I should have been nicer about it. Sorry, Ilya. It's too rough with you. But I'm not going to give up my sword training. I'm sorry to leave you alone, but please stay in the living room. Ilya sulks away toward the entrance, but stops by the wall. Fine, I'll watch here. You won't mind that, right? Ilya suddenly roars in defiance. She glares our way, pitching a small tantrum. Well, I don't mind. But it's cold in the dojo, and there's tea and snacks in the living room for you. I made up my mind, so it's fine. I'm not going to leave Shiro and Saber alone here. Oh, is that what this is about? Ilya huffs and turns her nose up. Oh, well. You're more than welcome to go back to the living room if you get bored. At least things have settled down. I take two shinai leaning against the wall and turn to face Saber. Then let's begin. It's been 3 days, so I might be a little rusty. Hey, are you okay, Saber? You look a little dazed. Do you have a fever? Oh, it is nothing like that. Saber turns away from Ilya, furiously shaking her head. So are you alright? Let's begin. Here's your shinai. Please, simply throw it to me. You mustn't approach me so haphazardly. We are only here to train. That's what I've been saying. What else would we be doing here, Saber? A little confused, I toss the shinai to her. Besides, I've never once landed a strike on Saber. I've never even gotten close being within striking range of her, so Saber telling me not to come close seems odd. Saber takes the shinai I toss her a bit awkwardly, then lets out an audible sigh. Then let us begin. Things may not be the same as before, but please try to maintain your composure, Shiro. Saber glances at Ilya as she speaks. Saber, I can't help but feel like you're projecting a little bit. We want to talk about that? I'll be fine. Once we started, nothing will bother me. I grip my shinai and focus on Saber. She stands in front of me, shinai in hand. Now my attention is fixed only on her. We spend 2 hours training, then go on break as usual. This just reminds me how amazing you are, Saber. I nod approvingly and gulp some water from the kettle I brought along. I quench my thirst and wipe the sweat from my neck with a towel, which helps me to finally relax. So that was your training? It seems like it was just Shiro getting beat up. You gotta fucking out me like that, damn. Ugh. Ilya's so blunt about things most people would find awkward. That's not true, Ilya. It may have looked like I'm just getting beat up, but it was actually worse before. In fact, I didn't pass out even once, so I'd say I did pretty well today. Oh, really? But does that have anything to do with your skills, Shiro? From where I was sitting, it looked like Saber ignored plenty of opportunities to attack you. Ilya's expression turns thoughtful. She's sharp. I found it odd too, actually. Either Saber was holding back out of concern for me, or she isn't in top form. Whatever the case, Saber didn't go all out. Well, she may not always fight seriously while we're training, but she's always been merciless about exploiting openings before. Today, she lacks drive, though. Normally, she just rushes in and attacks hard enough to knock me out, but there was none of that today. You think so too, Ilya? Maybe Saber's given up on me. I didn't see it that way. But whenever Saber readjusted her grip on the shinai to execute a follow-up blow, she just stopped and stepped back. I'm not sure why she did that. It wasn't like she was unwilling to attack, but more like she was scared or trying to hold back. Saber would never hold back. If she had the compassion for that, she wouldn't have beat me so bad that first day. Yeah, Saber isn't the sort to hold back in training. That's why I was able to focus so completely on her weapon. What's gotten into Saber? This isn't training at all. It seems unbelievable. Excuse me. It seems unbelievable, but did she go easy on me? No, I did not go easy on you. I was simply imagining myself facing off against a swordsman, somewhat more skilled than Shiro, as usual. Something's not right. Saber has to see it too. Yeah, I can't imagine you ever taking it easy on me, and I know you were being serious. But I think you were holding back. If you don't come right at me, this is pointless. Right at you? But that would mean I would be getting too close to Master. Depending on what happens, our bodies might come into contact. Saber, what the fuck is up? Give it to me straight, bitch. What do you mean? What do you mean? Huh? Well, we're sparring, so I guess we might bump shoulders or something. But you used to slam your whole body into mine to knock me down because you said I wasn't defending myself well enough. And close combat is your specialty, Saber. Did I do that sort of thing? It's kind of a weird question, but yeah, frequently. Remember how you just slammed me into the wall when we first sparred? I said you were pretty strong for a girl, and you said it was natural for a swordsman. Saber stands there, dumbfounded. What's going on? Saber's acting really weird today. I hate to learn she isn't feeling well. I should talk to Tosaka later. We get back to our training, but it's still different than before. And after just a few strikes, Saber sets down her shinai. Is this a new kind of training? She might strike me straight in the head the moment I drop my guard and get close. I breathe hard, watching Saber cautiously. Saber narrows her eyes, showing that she is serious now, and steps forward. Shiro, let us have lunch. That's not like her. Huh? I lower my shinai. Lunch? Is it that time already? According to the clock, it's a bit before noon. It's lunchtime for sure, but this is the first time Saber's been the one to step up and suggest it. Neither Saber nor I paid much attention to the time when we trained before. We'd take a break, then notice we were hungry, then we'd check the clock and see that it was about lunchtime. It's a good idea. I could go along with it easily enough. Okay. Let's eat lunch. I'm hungry. That's a good idea. It's a little early, but I guess I can start preparing. Is it early? It is almost noon, and by the time you have completed preparations, it will be lunchtime. Well, I actually made us box lunches today. Everything's done and packed, so we just need to bring the bento from the living room and we can eat now. Wonderful. Then I think I can manage to hold out. Saber breathes a sigh of relief. Huh? What do you mean, hold out? Nothing at all. I'm simply talking to myself. Let us eat. Saber, you've been pretty weird today. You've been sparring weird. If you're not feeling well, you need to tell me. If you're not feeling well, you shouldn't eat the bento. I'll make you something a little easier to digest. No, that is absolutely not the case. If you start now, it will take time, and we must eat right now. So let us eat. Now, Shiro. What's gotten into her? She doesn't look ill, and it doesn't look like I'll need to make her anything special. Got it. Then I'll bring over the bento and some tea. You two just wait here. We don't often have bento for lunch, so let's take the chance to eat here in the dojo. Yes, thank you, Shiro. Saber waves enthusiastically, sending me off. She's flustered. She's mad. Seriously, what's going on with her today? It's noon, and we eat lunch. I made a hearty breakfast, so lunch is boxed leftovers. I see. You have taken the dishes from this morning and put them between slices of bread. Almost like a real hamburger. Saber nods her approval as she eats her sandwich. The way she uses a paper napkin to keep her hands from getting dirty. There's such grace even in the way she eats a bento. Yep, I realized this during breakfast. You're a good cook, Shiro. It's nice that the food is so good. On the other end of the spectrum, Ilya eagerly crams her sandwich into her mouth. I can't tell if she's just playing around or copying me. Ilya seems to have better manners than Saber, except at the table. Hold it, Iliasfir. If you eat like that, your hair will get dirty. Ilya must have had butter smeared on the corner of her mouth or something. Saber leans in reluctantly, wiping off whatever it is. Thanks, but what's the big idea? I thought you didn't like me, Saber. This is cute. This is so cute. This is so cute. Aww. Got a big smile on my face. I am wary of you, yes, but even I understand people's feelings. She's a tsundere. Yeah, she's a little bit. She has been very soon today, or more so than usual, I guess. Saber's a bit of a coup today, but not like to the extent that someone like not to the extent that someone like Rei from Evangelion is. Rei from Evangelion is like the quintessential coup today. She basically has zero emotion. Wow, that seems like a totally real message. Anyway. That was definitely a real person who totally wanted to co-op Fate Stay Night. Am I right, guys? Am I right? Am I right, chat? You have no hostility, and Shiro has accepted you as a guest. That is why I will show you a bare minimum of courtesy. And besides... Besides? Your hair is beautiful. It pains me to see it getting so dirty. Didn't read the message, don't worry about it. Playing a fishing game on the side? Based. Yeah, the fishing game is broken for today. The fish redeem on stream. I think they might be having connection issues. I'm not sure. If it persists, I'll look into it after stream, and if it persists, I'll make a report or something. But yeah, the little fishing thing that we have here, I turned it off because it wasn't connecting properly earlier at the start of stream. Anyway, we're gonna take a short break here as well because we got ads starting any second. Big stretch. I'm very hungry. Oof, that was my spine, if you heard that. Ads should be coming in any second now. I don't know why they, like, take a minute. It's a little obnoxious, actually. Anyway, I leave you with this adorable image of Saber low-key being a mom. Or at least a big sister. There we go, there goes the ads. I've got half a mind to run downstairs and shove a burger in my face and then come back up here, but I know I'm gonna regret it if I do that. I know that I'm gonna just be like hacking it back up as we're reading. I don't want to do that. have like cereal bars, energy bars. I should invest in like snacks like that, so specifically snacks for stream, something that's small and I could eat quick. And I'd prefer to have something that's like unwrapped. Literally stock up on those sports bars for when I draw. So, oh yeah, that's probably a good idea, huh? Yeah, I used to do that when I would write, especially when I was in college. I would just grab a bunch of snacks and just have stuff. That way, I wouldn't need to like get up from my computer and wander around and lose my flow, you know. It's always good to have snacks on hand, not just around. Also, this morning, I went out for breakfast. Also doesn't mess up my belly. True, yeah. Having it be like high protein and stuff is good for the diet. I imagine if I were to find something similar, it would be very full of sugar because America, but that's beside the fact. This morning I went out for breakfast. I went and got some banana chocolate chip pancakes at a local breakfast place that I go to occasionally. And I went there by myself, which is something I rarely do. Rarely do I ever go out by myself. Usually if I'm going out, it's like with my family or whenever I used to date, which is neither here nor there. But I rarely ever like go out by myself because I don't usually see the point in it. It just seems kind of lonely and boring. But I went out this morning for breakfast and I tried to brainstorm a new writing project. I tried to work on, because I have a manuscript, right? I have a manuscript that I have written, and I have another one that I've been working on for some time, and I've had a lot of other ideas that are like kind of barely fleshed out ideas, like not even outlined ideas. So I was trying to work on one of those, and it was going pretty well. It was going surprisingly well. I was there for like an hour, and I got a lot of brainstorming work done. No actual outlining, but like I'm at a point where I'm confident I could start working on an outline. I don't think I could get very far with it, but I could definitely start working on an outline, and it just kind of set me in a mood. So I might not stream too much this week, and I might try to really buckle down and work on some writing stuff. I know I said that I wanted to work on a lot of writing, I wanted to work on a lot of voiceover stuff, but it's been rough lately, just trying to squeeze everything in. It feels like I don't have enough time to do everything, which is a pain, and it's the trouble I run into is that the streamers that I look up to the most, they're like based on their work ethic and the things that they do. Streaming is like their main source of income. So they don't have a part-time job or a full-time job or any other job that they need to sustain themselves. That is the stream. The streaming is the job. So on the one hand, they are pretty much constantly working, but on the other hand, like, they don't have to balance working and streaming because working is streaming. So it's like one less thing that sucks up all their time. I don't have that privilege, if you could call it a privilege. Kind of depends on your perspective. But I don't have that luxury, let's say, to sustain myself with streaming alone. I'd love to get to that point, of course. I feel like a lot of people would really like to get to that point. Whether or not that's a realistic goal to aim for, and timelines and all that is that's a different conversation. But it just recently it's been stressing me out because I don't have enough time between working and being live to put as much time into my writing projects as I would like to. And then there's also Caesarean. There's still only been one video and it's been like a month. And there's so many other things that I want to work on that I'm not putting the time in, that like I'm having a hard time. I've been having a hard time balancing it. But when I went out this morning and I just tried to focus on brainstorming, I was by myself. I had some food to eat, and I was in an environment that's conducive to writing, because breakfast places are great for writing. I don't know, just something about the vibe at breakfast places and coffee shops. Coffee shops is really good for creative writing, in my opinion. It just helps. It kind of, I guess what I'm trying to say is I really needed that breakfast trip this morning, because I think it helped kind of put me in the right mindset to really start working on these projects, and to not worry about so much about me not working on them, and just kind of take a little bit of time and put the stuff together the way that I want it to be put together. I spent a lot of time thinking about it and stressing about it, and now that I've kind of had a moment to breathe, now that I went out of my way to take a moment to breathe, I feel like I'm in a better headspace to kind of get that stuff put together and organized and actually get it done. Anyway, that's a bit of a tangent, but it just kind of sprang into my head. But all that is to say that I might not stream as often this week or as long this week as I want to. Stressing about something like passion is actually sane, healthy. Yeah, yeah. It's understandable to be stressed about it if it's something you're passionate about, because, you know, like that just makes sense. If you wouldn't be stressed if it wasn't important, right? So that just proves that it's important. Anyway, I think that's enough of that. Ad break ended like 3 minutes ago. Let's get back to the story. Shiro is still mine, you know. Well, I can maybe consider being a little friendly with you. I can make Shiro win, but I can't protect him after all. Ilya shrugs and takes another bite of her sandwich. You do not need to remind me. It is the duty of a servant to be their master's shield. Saber responds plainly enough as they eat. Their conversation hasn't changed much, but at least they sound calmer. As we relax after finishing our meal, Tosaka comes in. Shiro, are you here? I'm ready, so come by as soon as you can. Her message delivered, Tosaka heads straight back to the outbuilding. Oh, right, I forgot. Tosaka was going to teach me magecraft in the afternoon. I've never had a proper teacher, so Tosaka's magecraft lectures have been really helpful. She seems to be willing to keep teaching, so I should clean up here quickly and head over to her. Sorry, but I'm going to head to Tosaka's room. I'm not sure how long it's going to take, so you two should go back to your rooms and rest. Okay, I'm a little tired, so I'll take a nap. Ilya walks out of the dojo, rubbing her sleepy eyes. That's a relief. As long as Ilya goes to sleep, I don't think there's any problem with me going to Tosaka's room. Shiro, are you going to Rin's room? Yeah, I just said that. Tosaka's teaching me the basics of magecraft. Is that really necessary? With Berserker gone, there are no more enemies that require our alliance to defeat. Would that not mean there is nothing more for you to learn from me? She might be right. I don't think she's right at all, actually. Tosaka's lessons were originally meant to help me when we went up against Berserker. So with him gone, there's no reason for her to teach me anything else.
Yeah.
No. Berserker or not, I do still want to learn from her. There's still so much I don't know as a mage, and I'd like to fix that as soon as I can. I see. If you insist, then I have no business stopping you. Huh. Saber looks sullen as she says this. Okay, time to start my lesson. First though, is anything broken? That's how she began. It's kind of an odd question to ask the moment I arrive. Huh? Broken? Like what? I'm asking if any part of you isn't working. You did some wild stuff, so you must have burned out a nerve or two. Not to say I care. I just figured it'd be hard to teach you unless I knew whether there was anything wrong. According to Tosaka, some parts of me should be numb. But since I'm the one living in my body, I can't say she's wrong. Nope, everything's working fine. Headache and fever are gone now that I've had a night's sleep. Do I feel fine? What? That can't be true. Did you forget the part where you projected Saber's sword? That would have cost a normal person their arm. But I told you, I'm fine. Besides, if my body wasn't working, I wouldn't have been able to carry Elia back to the house. And at that point, the only thing wrong with me was a headache and a fever. But that's not possible. Shiro, show me your arm. She tugs on my arm before I can reply, then stares at it. I realize I'm holding my breath. I may have gotten used to her being around, but I'm definitely not used to her being so close. It really does look like there's nothing wrong. I see a few places that are black, like they're burned or bruised. But other than that, everything's healed. It's almost like the flesh grew back like new. Tosaka mutters quietly to herself as she inspects my arm. Hey! As if that weren't enough to leave me beet red. Your body really is unbelievable. This isn't how normal healing works. Your natural healing is obviously being bolstered by something external. But this, you healed this yourself. Rin lifts my sleeve up, pressing her fingers all along my arm. Hey, stop! That's enough, Tosaka. Go sit back down if you're done. I'm examining you, you know. Oh, I get it. Tosaka leans closer to me. You say your fever's gone down, but I'm not so sure. Your face is glowing. I love it when she's smug. That's for me to worry about. It's none of your business, so leave me alone. Oh, really? Then I suppose me doing this won't be a problem, right? What? Don't put your hand on my forehead. I don't have a fever, so there's no point to this. No, apparently not. Even your ears are red now. You don't look like you have a fever. Looks more like you're drunk. She's doing this on purpose. This is deliberate, I know it. Tosaka, you know exactly what you're doing, don't you? You got me. I was just enjoying your reactions. Too funny. Anyone who would toy with a man's innocent feelings like that should do their repentance in hell. Well, I'll stop the teasing here. If I push it, I might end up having to suffer the consequences. That's a problem. I feel like Tosaka's only teasing me harder now. Tosaka, I'm gonna remind you that this is serious, and I'm here to learn from you. Oh, I'm sorry. That's been my intention from the start. I was only checking on my students' health just now. I would blush for Tosaka. I'm always blushing for Tosaka, bro. I love her. Oh yeah? So, are you going to get to today's topic then? Yes, I suppose so. We're stepping outside my specialty here, so I can only offer advice, but it's better than if I didn't say anything at all. To be honest, that last lesson I gave you was probably the last of the help I can offer. You can't just learn to be mage in a few lessons. All I did was install a switch inside you that you hadn't learned to use. You know that much at least, right? You mean that jewel? Yeah, ever since I swallowed it, I've been able to turn my magic circuits on and off without creating them from scratch every time. Yep, that's about the only thing I can teach you in such a short time. But even that was just your previous training asserting itself. I can only boost the magecraft you've already learned. I'm not going to teach you other forms of magecraft. You just don't have the talent. Yeah, you being so blunt about that is enlightening. But you can at least give me some advice about the magecraft that I can use, right? So tell me what kind of magecraft I used last night. Tosaka doesn't answer. She's just glaring at me like I'm her worst enemy. Tosaka? This is supposed to be lecture, right? I get nervous when you go all quiet like that. She looks away, frowning. It's only a brief flicker of her expression, though. I can't. I can't do projection magecraft, and I can't teach someone something I don't know how to do. Huh? Something you can't do? Wasn't what I used against Berserker pretty basic for a mage? I just imagined a structure and let magical energy flow into it. It's no different than strengthening magecraft. But flooding your own magical energy into something that's already formed is difficult. It's like adding what you think is red into an existing mixture of paints to draw out the red hue, only to end up with some completely different color. By comparison, it's much easier to work with my own paint from the very beginning. I can just draw out whatever I want that way. What do you mean you can't do it? I'm sure you can do that kind of thing. It's much easier than strengthening. You know, if you said that to any other mage, they'd definitely kill you. What you did was called projection. Excuse me. What you did was called projection, and you perfectly replicated a noble phantasm. I've never heard of anyone doing that before. A chill runs down my spine. It's not my imagination. Tosaka is actually angry. It doesn't matter. I had a feeling this was the case when I saw all the junk in your shed. There's no point in being mad about you at this stage. Let me explain, because you're clearly confused. What you did was called projection magecraft. It's an imperfect magecraft that creates mere images of existing artwork or famed swords using your own magical energy. It's generally used to create temporary objects to be used as stand-ins for rituals. Things you create from images in your mind are understood to be imaginary objects, and so they disappear quickly. I get that they're replicas created from a mental image. I saw Saber's sword in my dream and imagined the golden sword based on it. I don't really get it. Magical energy is like clay, right? Reproduction or no, Reproduction or no, what you make shouldn't disappear once the object takes form, right? That's not possible. Magical energy can only exist within your body. That's why you pass magical energy through yourself. You need it to interact with nature. Sure, I can knead magical energy like a piece of soft candy to at least make a dagger. But it stops there. It's nothing more than candy in the shape of a dagger. As soon as the magical energy dissipates, the dagger disappears too. Listen, things made purely from magical energy do not last long. They only briefly take shape. Well, but projection magecraft creates an object to look and perform like the original. She's right. Magical energy has no shape. I can feel it while it's flowing through my body. Once it leaves, it thins out, and eventually disappears entirely. But then, no matter how many blueprints I make in my mind and form with magical energy, everything will fade, because it's all made from magical energy. Now that I think about it. When Kiritsugu was teaching me magecraft, I showed him my half-assed attempt at projection, but he told me to stick to strengthening, because what I was doing instead was inefficient. I see. So projection consumes a lot of magical energy. There's no point in using it because what you make disappears immediately. Exactly. For example, let's say you use a decent amount of magical energy to create a sword. All that energy you use might get you a sword whose power we'd rate at maybe a 3 or 4. A human's imagination is unreliable, filled with holes, so it's almost impossible to replicate anything accurately. Now let's say you use the same magical energy to strengthen a sword. That same amount of magical energy can make the sword 20 to 30 times stronger, which means it would last a few hundred times longer than anything you create with projection. Got it? Projection magecraft is only used for rituals. Its sole use is creating replicas which disappear the moment they're used, and then only as a substitute for tools you can't normally create or get hold of. Your father made the right call, teaching you strengthening. You only have so many magic circuits to begin with, so if he taught you something as wasteful as projection, he'd be no better than an amateur himself. I got that. But what was that then? The golden sword I imagined was real for a moment. It even had the real sword's power. Huh. Was it just a freak accident that I projected Saber's sword then? Now that I think about it, the amount of magical energy in that sword was remarkable. Replicating something that ends up with a few hundred times the magical energy I myself have does seem pretty weird. Well, you have an affinity for swords. Mages all have connections to something. For you, it's clearly swords. Connections? You mean like elements like fire or water? Right. Normally a person takes one of the elements that make up this world. The Mages Association considers fire to be normal, wind to be noble. Sorry, I'm yawning a lot all of a sudden. It's probably because I'm hungry. It could be earth, water, fire, wind, or ether. Or it could be wood, fire, soil, metal, or water. A mage has a connection to one of these, but there are also those with more specific connections. Real quick for anybody who just hasn't researched the esoteric bullshit that I have, those first 5, earth, water, fire, wind, and ether, are the traditional 4 elements. plus ether being the secret fifth element that's like kind of binds the universe together. Ether or void or soul, whatever your preferred term is, alchemically. The next set she named wood, fire, soil, earth, metal, or water. That's the Chinese 5 elements. Those are the Chinese elements. The wuxia, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm probably butchering that pronunciation. But yeah, they have that. China's kind of version of the 4 elements is those 5. And then Japanese culture also is similar, and you see a lot of that in like Naruto specifically. Naruto's a very good anime for learning stuff about Japanese culture, as long as you kind of keep your eyes and ears open. Because like the jutsu in Naruto fall under a lot of categories, elemental categories, and for the most part you see a lot of those categories are earth, water, fire, wind, and I think lightning are kind of the basic ones. But then you've got other styles like metal and wood and mud that are kind of combinations of the other elements. And wood is a very significant element that's only really capable of being used by the Hashirama bloodline. And the reason that wood gets such special treatment is because it's one of those 5 elements. It's one of those specific Eastern elements. So that's why it gets emphasis like that in Naruto. Yes, I do know my stuff. This is kind of my area of expertise, is mythology, alchemy, that kind of. It's the stuff that interests me. You know, it fascinates me, and it plays a role in why I'm so interested in the games that I'm interested in, like From Software. Very into the lore and stuff, and the symbolisms. Most of these mages don't see any time in the spotlight. They're considered unusual. So in your case, you're connected with swords. It's pretty specific, but that means you could be the authority in swords. I see. It's probably true. I've always been fascinated with swords. Now I'm curious about Tosaka's specialty. Knowing her, it's probably fire or wind, or something else that'd suit someone like her. But I should probably just ask, since I'm curious. Hey Tosaka, I'm curious. But what's your specialty? Mine? My connection is with the 5 elements. Does she mean all of them? Anyway, that's pretty much that. They say that projection is about as useful as images on a screen, so try not to use it too much. Tell that to Berserker. Besides, trying to replicate Saber's sword was suicidal. You made it work this time, but I wouldn't have been surprised if you just exploded. You said it yourself, Saber's sword has more magical energy than you ever could. You do realize that creating something like that goes way beyond the limits of your magic circuits, right? Yeah, I know. But it's not so easy to go beyond your own limits, right? I thought I couldn't go any further anyway, because I was already at my limit to begin with. Bro, I can't wait until we get to 9 lives, dude. That's gonna be fucking crazy. Oh, you absolutely can. And death is always lurking right around that corner. If Magecraft allows a certain form or format, it means any mage can use any Magecraft they have knowledge of. Even if they're not ever actually able to pull off that miracle, they'll still take a shot.
Mages are only a source of power. Even a small engine can reach a high speed if you push the gas hard enough, but it tends to be self-destructive. Same with mages. If they're willing to accept the risk of destroying themselves, mages can certainly push past their limits. Doing so burns magic circuits and shreds nerves. But if they keep going, they can reach the miracle they seek. Your projection is just that. Your body felt feverish after the battle because your nerves were seared. That's the price you pay for magecraft beyond your own means. What you did could easily have cost you a limb or two. Tosuka's voice grows a little louder, but at the same time, that's why you should always keep in mind. Practicing magecraft that goes beyond its caster's limits leads only to ruin. Promise me you won't project Saber's sword ever again. Tosuka's worried about me, genuinely. After her warning, Tosuka prescribes some medication I'm not familiar with. Well, there's probably no point in telling you not to push yourself. At least for our peace of mind, take that painkiller if anything happens. If all goes well, your bruised and discolored skin might heal. Tosuka explains this as she prepares some kind of green, powdery medicine. I drink it with some tea. Tosuka rummages through her stuff and tries to prescribe some other medicine. Anyway, I feel bad for Tosuka having to go through all her stuff just for me, but I feel like I'm wasting time just sitting here. I should... Ooh. I put... Question 1. What is question 1? What does that mean? Hello? Now that I think about it, there's one thing that I don't understand. Why wasn't Tosuka just crushed during our battle with Berserker? What sort of trickery did she use? That was question 1? How are you alive? I mean, fair, kinda, but I feel like that's not question 1 exactly. Hey, Tosuka. Can I ask you about something that happened yesterday? What is it? Make it quick, I'm busy. Okay, so Berserker grabbed you. I'm just wondering how you survived. You don't look like it, but do you work your abs or something? I think she does, actually. If ripped abs were all I needed to survive Berserker's grip, my stomach would be harder than steel. Sorry, that was the wrong way to ask. I apologize, so please stop grinning at me like that. Then stop provoking me. As to how I survived, I placed a jewel on my stomach before the fight. I snuck it into my clothes to create a protective barrier around me. Got it? I see. So you expected Berserker to grab you from the get-go. Makes sense then, planning to protect yourself. But that means your jewels... I'm all tapped out. I used 1 for Saber, 3 to distract Berserker, 5 to blow his face off, and 1 to protect myself. 10 years I spent saving those up. They went in an instant. Even after using most of them, I still couldn't defeat Berserker. In spite of her dejected sigh, Tosuka doesn't seem to regret what happened. What's done is done. She knows very well not to dwell on what she's lost, but to focus on what she gained in exchange. I see. Sorry about that, Tosuka. Thanks, but I'm going to learn from this and make gems that'll let me defeat an enemy like that all on my own. She's as blunt as ever about that. But I'm also sure she'll manage it. And then I realize, Tosaka is the reason we won against Berserker. And after giving me several medications, Tosaka instructs me to do simple strengthening exercises while we keep an eye on how my body reacts. Apparently she's checking to see that nothing goes wrong inside me when I use magical energy. Honestly, Tosaka seems more like a doctor than a teacher today. It says more twice. One of those is superfluous. Okay, there doesn't seem to be any problems. You probably don't need to come here tomorrow then. Eh? That's a bit of a surprise. I don't have to come tomorrow. That means... Yep. There's nothing else I can teach you. If you want to focus on learning magecraft, you should do it after the war. Besides, with Archer gone, my alliance with you is long over. What? I suddenly realized, our alliance was only so we could defeat Berserker. Now that Berserker is gone, and Tosaka doesn't have a servant anymore, our living arrangement should be over. It should have ended yesterday, even. So what are you going to do now, Tosaka? Are you going to go to Kotomine's place? That'd probably be the normal thing to do. Tosaka and Father Kotomine are student and disciple. No, that's not right. Student and disciple mean the same thing. They're master and disciple. Sort of. So it shouldn't be an issue for her to go asking him for protection. Unless that was supposed to mean that, like, in reference to Tokiomi, Rin's father. Because Kide Kotomine was Tokiomi Tosaka's disciple. I don't know. That something's wrong with that statement. Why? Of course I'm not going there. I haven't lost yet. There's no reason I can't fight without a servant. Besides, running away isn't really my style. I decided to fight, so I'm seeing this through to the end. She says this like it should be the most obvious thing in the world. And she's proud about that. My eyes widen. Well, okay, maybe not. I should have expected this from Tosaka. She's unbelievably stubborn. Absolutely selfish. And captivatingly brilliant. Then what are you going to do? Are you going to go out on your own now? Excuse me. There are still servants and masters left. Let's see. I think I'll stay here a while to gather information. I should resume my research on Ryudo Temple, too. You're going to stay here? Are you sure? It'd be a big help if you stayed, but our alliance ended, so... What are you talking about? We managed to beat Berserker thanks to Archer. Our alliance may have ended, but you still owe me. And that's why you're obviously going to let me use your place until you've fully repaid your debt. Yeah, okay. Besides, I said I would take responsibility until the end. You and I were teacher and student, even if it was brief. I'd be so worried about you that if I left you to your own devices, I wouldn't be able to concentrate on the Holy Grail War. Oh, right. It feels like a lifetime ago, so I'd nearly forgotten, but I've admired Rin because of exactly those qualities for a long time now. She's an ally through and through. So I'm actually very happy. That's the Tosaka I've always known and liked. Besides, if I ever saw the day a girl as stubborn as her gives up, I wouldn't know what to believe in from then on. Thanks for sticking around, Tosaka. Whatever else I might say, I wouldn't know what to do without you. Saber and I need you, Tosaka. That's fine, but don't say stuff like that. You're stupidly honest, yeah, but be careful about what you say. You could give people the wrong idea. Huh? I'm not sure why that upset Tosaka so much. Tosaka, what do you mean I might give people the wrong idea? What wrong idea? Unbelievable. It just wasn't appropriate, okay? My whole attitude should make clear I don't want you asking, so drop it. Tosaka must be aware of some secret rule I'm not. Good grief. I feel bad. Saber's got it tough. But then again, that's probably why you two work. You and Saber both have to be pretty freaking dense, or else you'd never last. Okay, I still don't get it, but I didn't miss what you said about feeling bad for Saber. What do you mean she has it tough? This is exactly what I'm talking about. I bet you haven't even noticed the changes in Saber. Oh no, we noticed them. Changes in Saber? It's not about her appearance, right? If anything would have changed in Saber. Right. She has been acting weird since this morning. No, I just thought she was in a bad mood because Ilya was with us. She just sat there, all stiff and quiet. And when I asked if there was something wrong, she just got up and left, saying something about having had a dream. And I pretty much forgot about it in all the hustle and bustle over Ilya. Yeah, Saber's been a little off since this morning, like her head is somewhere else. Saber said she had a dream? That's the bit that surprises you? And now she's ignoring me. Hey, don't go quiet on me. The face you're making has me nervous. Oh, it's nothing major. It's just that servants don't typically dream. Servants don't dream. That's right, servants don't dream. But if she says she did, then it wasn't a dream. It was someone's memory. Maybe Tosaka's experienced it before. The coldness in her voice runs so counter to her usual cheerfulness. Yeah, it makes sense that servants wouldn't really have a need to dream. They don't have a need to sleep, except for Saber because of her unique situation. Maybe she sees the same memories you have, or maybe she's seeing Shiro's memories. If we're seeing hers, then maybe she's seeing ours. I don't actually know. And now it's time to prepare dinner. With so much happening these past few days, I thought the whole cooking rotation had gone out the window. But then... I'll leave dinner to you tonight. Looks like it's going to be a cold night. Between that and Ilya being here, maybe you can make stew. She steps out of her room as she speaks. Yeah, I guess stew would be perfect for Ilya. Maybe it's the hat and coat she wears that makes me think that. Whatever the case, I don't have a problem making stew for dinner. I'm no expert at Western dishes like stew, but I don't think I can really mess something like that up. You can. You can mess up a stew. It might be a little hard to mess up a stew, but you definitely can. Oh, but before that, it's a little before 6 o'clock. I still have some time before I need to cook. We had training, so I've done my share of sweating for today. Seems like now would be a good time to take a bath. Taking a bath before dinner might be a hassle, but Tosaka and Saber usually do it right after dinner, so it would be pretty late by the time it was my turn. The hallway always cold. The heaters have the rooms nice and warm, but once I'm out in the hallway, I can feel the wintry chill. Fuyuki's winters are typically warm, but the weather's been screwy these past few days. Speaking of cold, it looks like it snowed. I must not have noticed because it only lasted for less than an hour, and it didn't snow a large amount. If there had been much snow on the ground, my yard would be packed with an entire army of snowmen, which really sucks to clean up. In that sense, I'm glad it didn't snow much. Of course, the snowman army would be the work of a single person. I can't help but smile as I remember when it snowed last year, and her cold reddened hands gripping the lectern. Huh? I was thinking of taking a shower, but the bathroom is already warm. It's happening again. I hear something moving in water. I strain my eyes, trying to see the bathtub through a haze of steam. My mind goes blank as the white sheets of steam filling the bathroom. My throat closes up. I can't get a word out. My brain stops working. I'm paralyzed. But in the back of my mind, I recall something similar happening. Actually, the exact same thing has already happened. Last time, I was dressed and Saber wasn't. Not this time. The only sound is my own loud gulping. Saber just freezes, watching me as I stand there dumbfounded. She's going to get mad. Here it comes. I'm going to die. Her soft lips begin to tremble. Any second now, she's going to start yelling. Sorry, it's my fault. I was going to use the shower. Well, I didn't think anybody would be using the bathroom at this hour, but... Yeah, I should have figured it out earlier, but... I ramble out a lame excuse as I step backward, trying to head back to the changing room. It's not that I'm gawking at Saber, but for some reason, it feels like making a mad dash for the changing room would just make Saber angrier. The truth of the matter is, I can't take my eyes off of her. I remember the night in the ruins. I recall Saber's warmth, how close it was. Her body was so frail and slender. The heat of our bodies, even our heartbeats mingled, overlapped. At the time, I was just desperate to fix the problem, but now it all feels so... tempting. Anyway, we can talk later. I try to reach behind me for the exit, and then... My apologies, Shiro. I do know this is a selfish request, but would you mind leaving right now? Saber averts her gaze, her voice oddly muffled. Now I really don't know what to think. I'm not sure why Saber isn't mad. Seeing how embarrassed she looks causes blood to pound in my skull. Why? The words come out before I can stop myself. Saber looks down even more apologetically. Please, wait a little longer to use the shower. Please permit me to use this space alone for the time being. I do not think that is a weird request. Saber shrinks in on herself, hiding her body. Stun dipper? What does that mean? What do those words mean next to each other? And then I suddenly remember. When I ran into her at the changing room last time, Saber didn't say anything. Sex does not matter for servants. She said that. Appearances hadn't mattered to her. Well, you see... Hold on, I can't find the right words. My head's spinning. Come on, work brain. So, you're not mad, Saber? There's nothing wrong with you wanting to wash yourself. I have no right to limit my master's activities. I get it. Saber doesn't care what she looks like, or whether she has clothes on or not. That's why it's not weird for me to be here. The bathroom is a place to wash one's body, so my presence isn't strange. It doesn't matter whether Saber's here or not. Knowing that helps, but I have a feeling I'm wrong. So then, I don't think it would be a problem if I used the shower right now, you know? But I am saying, well, I am not concerned about being seen, but my body is not that of a younger girl, like Rin. So, she blushes even more, tripping over her words. I feel... This would be such a non-issue in... Like, I'm a little confused about the dynamic here. Like, it's weird to use the bathroom at the same time. Like, I don't understand why there's conflict in this scene. But also, yeah, battle scars, apparently, is what she's concerned about. Getting sleepy in this BGM isn't helping. Oh no! Don't worry, we're getting to the end of the day. Surely the chapter will end soon. I do not want you to see too much of me. A man like you must find such a muscular body as mine unsightly. Oh, her muscles and scars, okay. It's because she's too fit. Oh, Saber, if you only knew the age we lived in now. Muscle mommies abound. She sounds so bashful. I almost faint for just so many reasons. You fool! I would never think that. Saber's body's a long way from unsightly. She says she's rugged, but that's never bothered me. Sure, she's more muscular than Tosaka, but still, I still think Saber is very feminine. Shiro, that is why I would like you to leave me here alone here. I don't know how I responded. I only remember nodding slightly and pulling the door closed. And so the day ends. Dinner was chaotic. Ilya got chattier with each meal, and she and Tosaka have gotten to this weird point where I'm not sure whether they're fighting or being friendly. Saber has accepted Ilya's presence here, but she hasn't warmed up to her. More than that, Saber gets pretty frowny whenever Ilya gets near me. These past few days have been just plain rough. The normal routine of just a few days ago has devolved into complete chaos. I step silently out into the yard. It's just about time for the calendar to roll over to the next day. I walk beneath the pale light of the moon, leaving faint puffs of white breath in my wake. Next thing you know, I'm at work on my daily routine. I don't really need to train out here since Tosaka is teaching me, but I still sit on the cold ground and check on the things I've been working on for so long. I'm not doing this because I'm worried about my skills. It's more that I find doing it soothing. I've been doing this for years, so just not doing it would feel weird. I put even more effort into tonight's training. Tosaka told me not to do it anymore, but I just can't do as she says. If I can master this projection thing, It'd mean I could be a lot more helpful to Saber. And the heat from earlier is still lingering within me. The night at the ruins. The battle in the forest in the morning mist. The golden sword I created. The residual heat still lingers in my hands. Deep down, I find myself hoping I'd be able to reignite those flames. Creation philosophy. Appraisal. It's easy to recreate. At the time, I was so desperate that my mind was a jumble, but now I can retrace the necessary steps and form my incantation. Shiro, just listen to what people tell you just once. Fucking real. Seriously. God damn it. No. From the very beginning, there has only been a single thing that could serve as a trigger for me. The pronunciation is the same. But just by changing my perception of how it is said, it will become something entirely mine. My own original spell. Basic structure, hypothesis. I know very well how dangerous this is. Tosaka doesn't need to remind me. I really have no business getting anywhere near projection magecraft. It's completely beyond me. Venturing so brazenly into dangerous waters can lead only to death. End of hypothesis. Now, instant nothingness. I erase the blueprint that was in my head. A shadow falls across the door. Saber comes in, her frame blotting out the light of the moon. Good, you are here, Shiro. I could not find you, and was worried something might have happened. Huh? No, nothing's happened. I couldn't sleep, so I came here to do some mental exercises. Once I finish, I'll head back to my room, so you don't have to worry. I see. That is fine then. Saber focuses on my forehead. She can probably see that I'm dripping with sweat. Beak driver. Yun, what are you typing in my chat right now? Hello? It's always like this. Don't worry. Mages have to practice their magecraft. And, well, failure comes with the territory for an amateur like me. Break diver. I wipe the sweat from my brow with the back of a hand. I'm surprised. My sweat is cold as ice. I thought it was cold, but I don't remember the shed being quite this cold. Shiro, have you been doing this every day? Well, yeah, as much as I possibly could. It's a daily routine my old man taught me, so I should at least keep to it. As soon as I finish speaking, I regret my bluff. I regret telling her that this is my daily routine. My intent was to boast to Saber. At the end of the day, my training isn't just some chore to me. But it isn't the easiest of tasks, either. Saber says nothing. The moon hangs behind her, its light spilling around her frame. The shed, plunged into bluish darkness, is illuminated by the few shafts of silvery light that make it past Saber. I recall the first night I met her. Saber, Tosaka said something to me today. That moment felt just like a dream. Is it true that sabers don't dream? I can't stop myself from asking. That is correct. We do not have dreams. Servants are spiritual forms, and so do not sleep to begin with. I am forced to sleep because I cannot turn into spiritual form. But I still do not dream. But this morning you said... There's a brief silence. She closes her eyes then, apparently having made up her mind. The dream I had, Shiro, was yours. Master and servant are mentally connected. If the connection becomes strong enough, there are times when they will experience each other's memories. You dreamed of my past? Yes. It is tantamount to stepping into your mind, but I was not able to prevent it from happening. Please forgive me for that, Shiro. Don't. I did the same thing. Saber's past. I've seen several scenes from her life before she became a servant now. Don't be silly. That's not your fault. You can't help what you dream about. And I have to apologize too. My past is pretty boring. Seeing something that boring probably makes you not want to have to sleep. No. This morning was the first such dream I had. I did not see anything recent, so I did not infringe on your privacy as a young man. Saber's dead serious about that warning. But privacy? Well, yeah, sure. I've done my fair share of dumb things. That's a relief. But if you're saying you didn't see any recent memories, then how far into the past did you see? There was a large fire. That is all I saw. Her voice is quiet. Her gentle gaze tells me what she saw. Oh. Oh. Oh, he saw it. Oh. That dream. I see. Well, I don't know what to say. What was that? So huge spoilers. That's what that was. That was huge spoilers is what that was. Should I say it was unfortunate? It's like going to a movie theater expecting to see a movie you know, but you end up somehow in the wrong theater and end up getting a completely different show. It helped me to understand. No. I have been thinking this for some time now, but you have a dangerous side to you. Huh? What do you mean dangerous? Well, yeah, I'm sure the odds are plenty stacked against me from your point of view. That is not what I mean. You are very similar to me. That is why I understand your mistakes. I can see what might happen to you if you continue on this path. Alright, we've got ads starting any second, so we're going to take another quick break here. I didn't want to take a break because it feels like we're very close to the end, but that's what happens. Dave R. Biker. Huh? What? What are you guys talking about right now? There's secret communication going on in my stream? Trying to solve the mystery of what that thing was. Yeah, Dave R. Biker, that's the one. That's it for sure. You nailed it. And that was him. You got him. The one and done. My job here is done. Oh man, I'm so hungry. Turns around, walks towards the horizon, rolls title card, roll credits. Classic. Rides off into the sunset. Yeah, this music's making me sleepy too. Cracking my knuckles. I'm sorry, I know some people don't really like that. I can't help it. I'm too far gone. I haven't watched a Western in a while. Me neither. I don't watch a lot of movies very frequently. And even when I do watch movies, it's usually like ones that I've already seen. My kind of guilty pleasure favorite movie is Queen of the Damned. It's sort of an adaptation. It's supposed to be an adaptation of Anne Rice's novels, the sequel to Interview with the Vampire, but it is not like the book at all. But I really like it. Anne Rice herself fucking hates it, but like, I don't know, man. It's pretty cool. All right, right back to it. I don't think I've made any mistakes. Sure, I've failed plenty of times, but my goal is to be a champion of justice, like my old man. A goal like that can't be a mistake. No way. I used to watch a lot of westerns. There's so many interesting characters, and then when you make movies with low budget, you have to make the characters interesting. Yeah, real. There's a lot of low budget films that ended up. The one that springs to mind is Evil Dead. Evil Dead started off as a very low budget project by Sam Raimi, and then became just a huge franchise. I fucking love Evil Dead. I love Sam Raimi. Anything he directs, so good. I love the Evil Dead series. I loved the Spider-Man series with Tobey Maguire. And I went out of my way to watch Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness because it was directed by Sam Raimi. I don't really care about the Marvel movies anymore. Maybe I will again one day, but like after Endgame, I was like, I don't really care. But I went to see Doctor Strange because Sam Raimi was directing it, and I was like, oh hell yeah, I gotta watch this shit. And it was definitely worth it. I am telling you that is your mistake. Shiro, what happened on that day was not your fault. You cannot and should not take responsibility for it. There is nothing you need to redeem yourself for. That's obvious. It was just an accident, and I was just a victim. Sure, I may be dealing with survivor's guilt. He fucking said it. Rin once said that your self-sacrifice and devotion are bizarre, and I agree. You are not sacrificing your life to save others. In fact, at no point did you even consider your own life.
感情に入っていないのではないですか。
Maybe my pupils have dilated. I'm not sure why, but I can't seem to focus on Saber's face.
あの事故を忘れることは
You will never be able to
あなた
forget
には
that
できないでし
accident.
ょう。
But as long as you remember it, you cannot
覚え
change.
ている限り白は
Is that
変わ
not
らない。
extremely painful for you?
それは苦しいのではないですか。
Painful? For me?
俺が
Well, yeah, that's painful. Saber doesn't have to remind me of that. It is obvious. So many people died. It was absolute hell. Something like that causing you pain is only natural. And besides, if I didn't feel that, it might all be meaningless. Yeah,
確かに
you're right.
こうして思い出すと辛い
It is painful to remember.
けど
But it's in the
そ
past.
れは終わったことだ
There's nothing I can do about it.
今さらどうにかできることじゃないだろう
Saber doesn't answer. Instead, she claws at her arm in frustration. Rin couldn't see into Archer's dreams? True. Yeah, this is a unique scenario between Saber and Shiro. Brought on because of the unique situation they were in, where their link wasn't established for transferring magical energy. Yeah, this is a unique thing.
私は聖杯を手に入れなければならな
I
い。
must obtain the Holy Grail.
けれど、
But that also
それは
applies
白
to
に
you,
も当ては
Shiro.
まる。
Saber?
白には聖杯が必要だ。
You require the Holy Grail.
私があな
You
たに呼び
summoning
出
me
さ
was
れたのは必
ultimately
然だったので
inevitable,
す。
Master.
マスター。
I don't know how to respond to that.
先に眠ります。
I'm going to bed.
白を守
Please
り
do
な
not
きゃ
strain
しないよ
yourself
うに。
over much. Saber leaves. Yeah, there is a reason for there being such a unique connection between Shiro and Saber, but we'll go into more detail in the coming chapters. So I don't want to talk too much about it. I fold my arms and think. Do I need the Holy Grail? A vessel that grants wishes to its possessor. A vessel which contains unlimited quantities of magical energy, for which it is said nothing is impossible. Were I to get it, it could easily grant my wish.
いや違う
No, that's wrong.
どう考
No
えて
matter
も聖
how I
杯な
look
ん
at
てい
it,
ら
I
ないぞ
don't need the Holy Grail. Nope. I definitely don't need it. Because I don't have any wishes that can't come true, or hope for anything that's impossible. I wouldn't have a dream if it weren't something I could attain myself. Imagine you're Arthur looking for the Grail to no avail. You get isekai'd and people tell you, bro, go get the Grail. Yeah, I think about that sometimes. that Artoria Saber is like the Holy Grail is associated with her legend. That's gotta be weird. That's gotta be a weird coincidence, right? The night grows darker. In the familiar old shed, lit only by the moon, I listen to the distant wind. Saved again. Yippee. And so, that's the chapter. It was longer than I expected, that's for sure. But we definitely more casual than last time. That was a good time. I hope you guys enjoyed. I am gonna go get some food, which means it's time to send you guys out on a raid. Let's see who's doing what. Wow, there's a lot of people online tonight. Quite a Monday. I don't know, who do we... Oh. Let's send out a raid to Miss Kyoko Koko. I think we raided her once before. She's usually on pretty late for my time zone. She usually doesn't start until like 10 p.m. my time. So it's very rare that we get the opportunity to go say hi to her. But we love Kyo. She's good. She's fun. A lot of pirate buffs hang out with her as well. So I don't know when I will see you guys next time. Probably on Wednesday, but I don't know what we're doing. I'm still working out that schedule. I swear I thought that Bleach Rebirth of Souls was coming out this week, but it's coming out next week. It's coming out on Thursday, not on Wednesday. So, I don't know. I'll figure something out, and I'll keep you guys posted. Join the Discord for more relevant updates and such. But yeah, until then, be nice, have fun, raid, leave, and I will see you guys next time. Ta-ta.